Cape Red Blend in this country is a little bit more defined than the Cape White Blend category. The blend must be led by pinotage, minimum of 30% and max of 70%. So it's a little bit more stringent in the rules, but there's still quite a bit of freedom to play around. The pinotage we have, or that leads this blend, is from Stanford, or the Stanford Foothills, which is an area that's just further east of where we're standing now, on south-facing slopes and quite sandy soils, and just below the Cape Rafia Mountains as well. So there's this wonderful cooling effect. It's very different to pinotage from warmer regions in that it hangs on the fruit for a little bit, on the vine for a little bit, or the fruit hangs on the vine for a little bit longer. And when we've worked with it, the characters we've previously, or that we eke out from this vineyard, are more Pinot without the savory character you typically find with Pinot. So I think we believe at least it's more true to its sort of its lineage. Mm-hmm. And after the pinotage, we have Syrah. Of course, it's just a wonderful variety that works so well in the Cape, and especially from the cooler sites here. And then we have Mourvedre, really, really interesting grape. The kind of the character we joke that it gives us from the fresh just by itself from barrel is a mixture all in the mouth at the same time. A bit of rooibos, black tea, some cranberry juice, and a bit of charcuterie, salami, that kind of fattiness. Mm-hmm. This blend is rounded off by Cabernet Franc, which is a new addition to this blend, and one that we wanted to work with to bring in a little bit of a savory character as well and enhance the earthiness of this wine. But you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, the Cab Franc, I think from a mouthfeel perspective, it brings that real fine tannin, a little bit of pencil shavings, all of that. Mm-hmm. But it's a grape we've been excited to work with for a while now. It's quite tricky to get your hands on in this neck of the woods. There's actually quite a bit of it around, but I think people hold on to it pretty tightly. They love their Cab Franc around here. But we've managed to find some from Bot River, which I think is a great site for it. A little bit warmer, a little bit more sun exposure on that side, north facing or more northerly facing slope. And it's been I think this is I guess the proof in the pudding in terms of what it's brought to the blend compared to the 2022s. And I think this, for me, is looking, I'm especially excited about where this sort of Herbarium Cape Red is going.
This is really good. It's like not a very descriptive way of putting it, but it's just really tasty. It's
sort of
Cabernet Franc really it's a perfect addition to this.
I think it's just got that very particular structure to it, which brings tightness and focus to the wine. Yeah. I find it's just sort of.
But it fleshes it out. Like it's not like any of the grapes you had in there were like weak grapes whatsoever. But there's a finished roundness.
Just a little bit more it's tighten it up. We're talking about like fine tuning here. I mean, it hasn't changed the wine in its entirety. Yeah. It's just all these little subtle.
I think it's almost left sort of. I'll use the word. It's left the teenagers and grown up. It's a touch more grown up with that Cab Franc, with that, as Doug mentioned, with that structure and especially with the flavors, it brings in those subtle pencil shavings, almost like a cedarwood kind of thing. Yep. But still, it's really modest again at 13.5 alcohol, but it has a wonderful firm structure as well.
Yeah.
So,
and very, I think, quite representative of a cooler climate red wine as well. I mean, this is by no means a blockbuster, ripe, heavy red, but it's got structure, it's got complexity, maybe just, but at the same time, elegance and, power, elegant power. So sort of expand in that sense.
It's like power and grace. If you get that like in Bordeaux, which this is not a Bordeaux blend, but that's what makes Bordeaux so great is you have a wine like Cabernet based or Cabernet Franc based, that can age for 40, 50 years, and at release it's fresh and light on its feet.
For sure.
It's a power and grace blend, But I think, like you said, it's cool climate, fresh. It's like red flowers and like some of that kind of kelpiness, this kind of iodine quality, and then that Cabernet. But even though it is cool climate, it's definitely elegant wine. I think the fleshy texture will make people who look for a richer style of wines be down with it. You know what I mean? I think you can please people who want rich because of the texture, but people who want nuance and elegance because of just how the wine is and
And the
this cool
structure in
climate.
that, yeah.
It's amazing.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you,
good work,
Peter.
guys.
Yeah.
This is delicious. I'm like very much reminded of when we met at Leo's the first time, just randomly. I tasted your red there, and I was like, "Fuck, these are really good wines." Like, just kind of getting that excitement back again. Like, tasting these vintages. It's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.